Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Capitalist Investor. As always, you have me, Diamond Hands D. We got the whole team here. Tony the Tiger, Cool Hand Luke. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What was the Cool Hand Luke thing again? Because you were holding.
From the movie?
It's from the movie, right? Cool Hand Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Yeah. Don't have no idea what that is.
I mean, it's from a while ago.
Is it?
I've never seen the movie, but I know it's why can't I think of his name? The guy Newman, Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the guy back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
Was he in the not Chase, the one good movie, it starts with an S, I think.
Superman.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He was in a lot of good movies.
The viewers will know what
Now he just makes salad dressing, right?
Well, he's no longer alive. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, he does have the salad dressing.
But his estate still makes salad dressing.
The Sting is what you were looking
Sting,
for.
yes. That is what I was looking for.
That's one of the greatest movies of all time, for
It's a
sure.
great movie.
No doubt.
Every time I go back.
You ever watch that in college with us at John Carroll?
No.
We watched it all the time.
I don't know if Wally, my future father-in-law, is listening to this, but I don't think he remembers everything that he tells me, and he forces me to watch the movie every time I come back home. He's like, "Luke, have you ever seen this movie?" I'm like, "Yes, Walt. We watched it last time I was here." So I love the movie because I've watched it so many times now.
Wow.
Yep.
I have to go.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix because I watched it recently.
I got to go get educated on
Yep.
this.
It's good.
All right. Anyway.
So, from Paul Newman to the hot topic of the week. I mean, let's face it, everybody's talking about it in sports, outside of sports. It's Caitlyn Clark, just in general, I would say, just kind of what she's dealing with in the WNBA. But in the last week or so, they announced the roster for the USA basketball team, and Caitlyn Clark was not on it. She was left off. So lots to dig into on both sides there, but I know Tony has a lot to say, so I'll turn it over to you first, and we can kind of go from there.
Oh, man. All right. Well, if I get that red carpet treatment, I might as well go then. All right. So I know this isn't really necessarily like a financial planning topic, but it's definitely financial.
Yeah.
Like, it's a financial decision made by, obviously powers that I'll never be a part of. Anyway, yes, I would say the politically correct answer is, okay, yeah, she hasn't earned her stripes to be on the team. I guess I could make that argument. I mean, she was a historic collegiate player, already, playing well in with the professionals, people that are been around, and just like any rookie, but she's doing very well as a rookie. However, on a marketing basis, it is absolutely the worst thing anyone could have thought of or not thought of, right? Like, why is she not on the team? Because you can see, like, everything is 2, 3, 5x with her in the league, going from collegiate to professional. They're, WNBA or WNBA revenues, everything's up. Everyone's making more money now because of her. And then you can also talk about like how the veterans are, beating on her. I don't know how much of that is media driven. I mean, every rookie should get their lumps from veterans. I think that's just, lay of the land. But here's the thing. So in 1992, the Olympic Dream Team, remember that?
That's exactly
dude,
where I
I
was
collected
going.
every cup from McDonald's that whole year. Like, everybody, the whole United States rallied around that because it was the first year that professional athletes were allowed to participate in the Olympics for the basketball team. So they basically created an NBA roster, and it was Michael Jordan, Pippen, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, all Hall of Famers, right?
And Christian Laettner.
Well, hold on again. Don't steal my thunder. God damn it. And then they chose Clyde Drexler over Isaiah Thomas, coin flip. But they wanted to acknowledge the amateur part of the system and they brought in Christian Laettner, which, I looked at the roster of other names. They left Shaq off the team. Okay, smart. But anyway, that was a thing because it was like, hey, he wasn't really proven. He was still kind of an amateur. He was still in collegiate, but he helped the Blue Devils win a national championship that year. So like he was the man in college basketball. Guess what? Caitlyn Clark was the woman in college basketball. She just happens to be a pro right now. But they did that because everyone. I mean, he had Christian Laettner had that. Was it him that had that awesome turn-away jumper to win the game and all that? I mean, it was like one of the best NBA basketball games I've ever watched. Like that Duke. I don't know who they were playing. Probably Tar Heels at that time. Yeah,
it could have been. But yeah,
that was the best shot I've ever seen to win a game. In I was just going bananas as a 12-year-old kid or whatever I was.
Something else that will never come back in college basketball, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know why they didn't do it. There's just.
Well, this is different. I'm not. I don't draw the same parallels to 1992 with Shaq, in college compared to Caitlyn Clark nowadays. Like, for all you softies out there, I might offend you with this, but men's basketball is more popular than women's. There's no doubt about that, right? And when it comes to this new age of them trying to push women's basketball, the WNBA, and make it popular, you utilize the face of that marketing campaign as much as possible. And Caitlyn Clark, I don't care, the heat I might get from saying this, which I don't know how many people are actually going to see this, but Caitlyn Clark is the face of the WNBA, and there's no one else that's the face right now. Even though that's a big debate out, I've been seeing a lot of Twitter people say, "Oh, Caitlyn Clark's not the face," and then all these WNBA people getting interviewed saying, "No, we're the face. I'm the face." No, you're not. Caitlyn Clark right now is the face of the WNBA. She is making it popular. Just look at the standings in the room whenever she comes to the stadiums or Indiana specifically. The how many tickets are selling over there? Like there's a reason why people are watching it. It's because of her.
Yeah, I mean, and take a look at just take a look at the NBA right now. I mean, I watch the NBA enough to just know what's going on, but in my opinion, just based on what's going on right now, there is no face of the NBA. In my opinion, right. I mean, LeBron's kind of fizzling out, and there's no one to really grab the baton because it kind of went maybe like Jordan and then Kobe and then LeBron, and I don't know who's there now. I mean, Luka, but not really. And honestly, is there obviously the Celtics are probably going to win the NBA title, but there's not a superstar on their team. Well, they have a bunch of they're extremely deep with extremely good players, but there's not a LeBron on the team. Well, there's not a generational person on the team. But now Caitlyn is.
Yeah, right. And now people are getting irritated because she is becoming the face and has been the face, but she's a white woman. So, I mean, a lot of people don't want to embrace that, and that's what the left is kind of tearing that down, or trying to at least.
Yeah. It's what it appears.
Yep. So some of the numbers, I, of course, printed this out, but the attendance so far, so this is just this year so far, WNBA, 156% increase from last year. Seats filled above 90% capacity, above 17% last year. Yep. The ratings, they're a bunch over 2. Ratings are up 33%. Merchandise sales, 756%.
Yeah,
year over year. That's all Caitlyn Clark.
Every single number is up.
Yeah, I've never watched a WNBA game before this year. I've watched 2 this year because of Caitlyn Clark.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Yeah. I still haven't watched, but
I watched some of her collegiate games as they're going through the Final Four kind of tournament. I haven't watched any WMA. I've watched maybe some in the past, like when Rebecca Lobo is that her name? When they first kind of started the WNBA, I started watching a few of those games just because.
Didn't we have a team? Yeah, we had a team in Cleveland. Yeah,
Rockers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we scrimmaged them in college. That was a long time ago. Well. Not good.
So one of my good friends, bigger guy, probably 4'6'5". He went to like Iowa college, and the intramural team, bunch of athletes that just couldn't be on the boys team. They scrimmaged the women, and he goes, dude, they beat our ass, like literally like bruises, elbows, push, like they were mean and nasty. So he goes, like they're playing a different game than what you would think a women's basketball team is playing.
Yep.
Did you get that treatment? Are you getting bumped in the paint?
Oh yeah,
bit?
no, it was definitely competitive. Yeah, but
good.
So yeah, it's the Olympics are the perfect opportunity for exposure. And that's where I was going with the 92 Olympic team. It made those players, and especially Michael Jordan, like the most famous person on the planet, right?
It catapulted the NBA to multiple levels from where it was.
And that's what people bring in, man versus women and race and all this stuff, but it's really about business sense to me.
Business,
and
likability. Relatability.
You have to have a marketable product to sell to the masses, right?
The problem is when that marketable product doesn't fit the agenda that is controlling pulling the strings, then that becomes an issue, I think.
But everyone keeps bringing race up, but there's a lot of white basketball players who are in the top 10 in the WNBA. So I don't understand why it is turned into this race discussion, because it's not about race. It's about a player coming along like a Michael Jordan who just elevates the league to the next level. And it happens in every single league. You just have to look at it. And I feel like the discussion going on right now is the WNBA thinks that they can just like skip steps on the way to a, marketable product. That's what they need, right? And someone comes along that can elevate them to that next level, and everyone's mad about it. And it's a very strange thing to see unfold. I don't know how old Caitlyn Clark is, but isn't she probably like 20?
20, 21.
Yeah, so it's like being 20 and having to deal with the whole world seemingly hate on you can't be easy. She seems to have handled that pretty well. But yeah, it's a laughable discussion, honestly, to think that anyone except Caitlyn Clark is responsible for all of these numbers. It's laughable. It really is.
Yep.
And instead of embracing it, they seem to be going against it. Just like with cheap shots, during the game.
Yeah, I saw that recently.
Like, it's fine, right? Like welcome to the league moments. That's cool. It happens, but it crosses over when you start taking cheap shots, and it seems to happen every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked it up. The NBA and the WNBA, the racial profile is pretty similar. It's roughly 65 to 70% are black, and about 15 to 20% are white. The rest are different ethnic diversity, backgrounds and stuff. But so I don't know. I mean, it was just kind of like Larry Bird too. I mean, like a phenomenal, great white player in a league that's predominantly not white. And now you have that and you have that in the WMA right now, and I don't know what the
sadly,
the
everything seems to be about race in today's world. I mean, it's like weaponizing it. Yeah, they've weaponized it. The left's weaponized it, and
if you were smart, you just make it about money.
Yeah, exactly. And growing the game, right? That's what they say they want to do, right? Remember with all the live talk with the golfers, they were saying they wanted to grow the game. Most of them were full of shit, right?
Yeah.
They just wanted more money. This is
money.
an opportunity to grow the game.
Yeah.
Is to take women's basketball to the next level. It's what happens in all sports leagues, and they seem to be fighting against it. It's wild.
It's interesting. I have, like I said, just watched 1 or 2 games, but she's become a lot better passer. Like her assists are like through the roof apparently. And from the games I watch, her passes are on point. She hasn't been rocking, I don't think, the 3 points as much as people maybe have hoped, but she's still becoming a really good player within the league itself.
Yeah.
Right? So.
All right. Well, that's the hot topic of the week, but we also have a little golf. You guys want to make a few golf picks?
Let's start with Luke.
So U.S. We'll keep it brief, but the U.S. Open is in Pinehurst. A place we've been to a couple times. It is a great place too, down in Pinehurst, North Carolina. It's the golfing mecca of the world, essentially. Which, thanks to social media and YouTubers and stuff like that, has become pretty much unaffordable now. So thanks for that, guys. But it's an amazing venue. Payne Stewart won at Pinehurst before he passed away in a historic event. So it's a big deal for sure. It's a great golf course, and it's always known for probably. The hardest course in the world. That's what they're going for, essentially. And it looks like they've done that. People are complaining about how fast the greens are and how unfair the setup is and all that good stuff. So all of that said, the winner at best is probably going to be a couple under par, right? And so there are going to be lots of people who are on the leaderboard above par. It's just a grueling test of golf.
Yep. All right. So the way Pinehurst is set up, I guess they redid it over the last 6 or 7 years, just made it more treacherous.
Yes.
But the reports coming out, from a lot of, the caddies and the players, they're practicing putting off of the fairways and of the greens because the greens are turtle shelled, so they're like a thimble. The top of it, like even if you hit the top, you could still roll off the green. And plus, it's hard and fast, so like you could spin off the green very easily. So a lot of the reports I'm reading is you need to kind of look for those guys that are good at obviously ball striking, but also good at short game, because odds are you're going to be playing off of, not on the green. Mm-hmm. You're going to hit the green and roll off or something.
Yep.
So, believe it or not, Scotty Scheffler is one of the best short game people in the world. Obviously, that's why he's number one, and he's winning multiple tournaments. His ball striking has been impeccable. He rarely makes bad shots, but when he does, man, does he recover. He can putt and he can chip. That is huge. That's why he keeps on winning.
Yeah.
He is a multi-tooled person. I don't know how, but he's also 3-1, and the next person's like 10-1. Like it's he's leading by several lengths in this horse race, right? But if you're looking, from my opinion, if you're looking from outside of him, two names kind of come to mind. Is Hideki Matsuyama. He's won multiple championships. He usually plays well in the U.S. Opens. He is a extremely good ball striker. Irons are on point, and he is very good at chipping on very difficult greens. And then you also have somebody, again, this is way down the list, but like somebody like Keegan Bradley. Same thing. You have to be accurate with your driver, which he is, and you need to be good with your short game, which he is. So those are my three guys.
I'm going because
Tiger's in the Luke. Tiger's in the. You want Tiger?
No, I want Rory McIlroy because his divorce just got called off. So he's going to be.
Yeah, how does that work?
It's all marketing probably. It's a campaign.
It's like calling your ex. You're like, hey, what's up, baby?
But hey, I think Rory's going to be in a heated mindset from all of that. Probably the past couple of months going through all of that. So he's ready to take a dub and maybe get that out of the headlines.
Huh.
Okay. What's it? Elon Musk say the most ironic is the most likely, or something like that. So some crazy things happening, and that's all the news can focus on, getting that out of the news. And Rory now winning the national championship. Who knows? That can happen.
Okay. Derek.
So my boy Dustin Johnson really let Luke down last time we talked about this. So I'm not going to pick him again. He appears to have taken that live money and all the stuff that people say that can come with the guaranteed money. He seems to be living that life and doesn't seem to care much about golf anymore.
Good for him.
Yep, good for him. Some names I'll throw out. I always like Cam Smith. He's got a great putter. Hasn't done too much. I seem to always throw his name out there.
Well, I mean, in the British Open last year when he won it, or 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago. Same thing with him, like undulated greens, putting from off the green onto the green. Like, he's very good at that, and he fits that mold. Yep.
I'm going to take Matt Fitzpatrick as well. Pretty good odds, 40-1. He's a major championship winner, and he's, in form. And then, obviously, I'll always take Brooks Koepka. So, I don't think, it's funny. If there was a clip going around this week of Xander Schauffele talking about playing against Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And obviously Michael Jordan is not a professional golfer. And he said Xander said he started talking smack to Michael Jordan. And when he started doing that, Michael Jordan beat him straight up in the last 4 holes.
Is that what happened?
To lose the match.
I've read something that he got beat by, and it was straight up, no points.
Yeah,
no dots,
he was
no
getting
hand.
strokes, but he lost. He lost
Okay.
without the strokes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So some people just have a championship mindset. Like, I don't think Brooks and this golf course are going to get along very well. So, however, he's probably going to put himself to win on Sunday.
This is definitely a long episode, but here's something else that's interesting about golf right now. So here in Cleveland, Ohio, one of if you belong to a country club, the member guest is always a fun event. You bring in a guest, and you play a couple-day tournament against the field and all this stuff. At Barrington, that's in Aurora up here in Cleveland, very nice course, Jack Nicklaus course. Believe it or not, a live player lives here in Northeast Ohio named Jason Kokrak.
Mm-hmm.
He belongs to another club called Lake Forest, but he is playing in the Bear. And so I had a conversation with Nate, our CFA, and I'm like, because Nate's playing in the Bear this weekend. And I'm like, so if you were playing against Jason Kokrak, and Nate's used to be a hockey player, so he likes chirping and stuff. I'm like, he'd be chirping. And he's like, you have no idea, man. I'd probably get punched by the end of the 9 holes. And like some of it's like, hey, man, like, hey, like, I'm glad you're doing well on the live, but like, so you chose to play in the Bear over the U.S. Open? Like, did you try and qualify? So definitely a step sideways, man, going from the live and playing here at the Bear.
Yeah.
Like, come on, and playing on the up tees too. Come on, man.
For $300 in pro shop credit.
Right. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. But you're gonna have an elite golfer in that tournament. Good luck, guys. But he's gonna be given. I think his handicap's like +6, so he's giving. Mm-hmm. He's giving 3 strokes on each side, the front 9 and the back 9. So very interesting.
I'm just not as bougie as you guys, country clubs.
Yeah, you are. You just don't know it yet.
That's right. I don't know if I ever want to. I'm just gonna stay scrappy. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, man. Let's take this home. Man.
All right. Well, Victor Hovland, I think, could also make some noise. He seems feisty this week. But thanks for listening this week. If you guys have any questions, comments, show ideas, hit us up at info@SWP Connect, and we'll talk to you next time.
The opinions expressed in the podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any investment, legal, financial, or tax strategy. It is only intended to provide education about the financial industry. Please consult a qualified professional about your individual needs.